it gets me excited because like trading this one and doing so my research process, I can I'm just improving with it right now
Hmm.
with Fugazi research, even taking it to another level. So that you can scale up big on,
Hmm.
so and $1 billion companies. And there are $1 billion companies that are bad companies. You just got to find them. So in this one, so I have access to a space expert, and the space expert, this guy knows everything about space. He's a former, you know, like colonel in the Air Force. So like it's nice to have these conversations with high level people, and so when space was running, of course, this runs into the SpaceX IPO starts running. This company they put PRs saying they're gonna have a strawberry farm in outer space. The fruit strawberries,
Yep.
and they're gonna do, yeah. Anyway, it's a very bad company, and their auditor. The main thing is, in their filings, the auditor listed them as adverse opinion. So adverse opinion is one of the worst, things you could be called as a company. There's a lot of going concerns. Going concern. Every stock in the small caps, for example, is going concern, and they still run. But adverse opinion is like the nail in the coffin kind of thing. So when this thing is running because of hype, because of SpaceX hype, it's I know it's a bad company and it's running because of the hype. So you don't want to short ahead of that. But once that news is over with, this thing is like it's like that once that hype goes away, it's unsustainable.
Right.
Now I'm looking for the first red day. And now I'm looking for the sell the news event. So the sell the news. So what's the news? SpaceX. SpaceX is the news. Once that news happens, is a sell the news event. Then once SpaceX IPOs, now people can buy SpaceX. They have access to SpaceX. They don't need to buy all these other stocks that are just in space. So a lot of people will start selling these other space companies that are bogus, dubious, basically, and they'll start buying SpaceX if they really want a really good space company as an investment or whatever.
Right.
And especially when this one starts to turn around, it's going to get really ugly, as we can see. And an adverse opinion actually belongs, like, it's not worth anything. So and you can see here, also the float is massive. People are just cashing in. They have 14.1 million at 305 warrants. They have a massive ATM. So, the company knows this too. They know they're not worth much. So they're going to, as soon as this event it becomes a sell the news event, they're going to start to dilute. They're going to start to get out of their positions too. They're going to take advantage of the uprise in their stock price as much as they can. And it's been such a great short since then. So this doesn't happen every day. It's like SpaceX doesn't happen every day. But when it does happen and you have the right analysis and research and really good level of understanding of like the phenomenon of not only supply and demand, because this has a lot of supply, you can speak about it with some high level people that know what they're doing in the industry. This is the way for me, this is my future here with the big caps.
Hmm. So talk me through the first red day strategy. What's kind of your perspective with that? What are you looking for exactly? And then once you've got that first red day, are you looking intraday for your entries?
Yeah. So first red day, I'm looking for a gap up in the pre-market. Maybe here, I don't know if this is a good example of one. I think DFNS was a good example.
Mm-hmm.
So this one like ran big, and then it this day right here, it gapped up. It hit $100
In pre-market.
So the stock price actually closed here like at $50. So when it starts to push, it just becomes unsustainable. So it's like I'm looking for that capitulation, that like blow off top. So in this case, let's put 5-minute candles. In this case, when it starts to gap up, because this is where it closed. This line right here, 49, that's where it